Hello, you guys, and before I get started, I just wanted to let you know that since school's clearing up, and when I say clearing up, I mean this next week coming is the end. That's last week for this entire school year until August, or maybe September. I think August, probably August. But yes, this is going to be the last week of school this coming week until August for me. So, that said, after this coming weekend, not the weekend we just entered, but this coming weekend on the 24th and 25th of May, that weekend I'm not going to be available to do any readings for you. I just want to let you guys know. Also, the reason I haven't been doing anything for like a long time is because I got a new computer. You guys have probably found out by now that I got a new computer maybe a month, 2 months back. And I just been trying to settle down with this computer. That sounded odd. But yes, this computer has been a bit of a roadblock because as you can hear, I have an odd mic compared to the one I just recently got only like 5 months ago. Yeah, like 5 or so months ago. Back in December, on Christmas, I got this awesome mic that was amazing, and it doesn't work on this computer. So I got a new headset. That one didn't work. I got another new headset, and this one does work. As it turns out, the reason it doesn't work is because for some reason the computer doesn't like USB microphones. I'm not sure all the details of it, but I got one headset that has like a plug for headphones and a plug for microphone jack, and it seems to be fine. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Chapter 3: Responsibilities. The door of the Peach Pit Tavern swung open, ringing the small bell that hung above the door. The tavern was not an overly large establishment. There was a sitting area for customers to enjoy a meal and a drink by themselves or with a friend. A small stage sat against the north wall where bands, comedians, or actors would perform. Against the far wall was a full bar with a line of stools in front. To the right of the bar was a hallway that led off to rooms that ponies could rent, should they need a place to stay for the night. Behind the bar, waiting to attend to her customers, was Peach Bellini. The mare's mane and tail were brown, and the color of her coat was obviously her namesake. Her cutie mark looked like a tropical drink, and she always seemed to have a red rose in her hair and a silk scarf around her neck of one color or another. She smiled as Spike walked in the door. "Afternoon, Spike. Oh, and happy birthday." "Thanks, Peach. Do you have time to talk?" he inquired. "Sure. What's up?" she asked. Two young stallions, one red and one an amber color, walked in from the back room. "Hey, boss, we just finished unloading today's order from the delivery wagon. Do you want to check over the invoice before we put it away?" the red pony asked. He wasn't overly tall, but certainly taller than Peach, and his blue eyes were partially hidden by his blonde mane. His cutie mark of an apple cider jug gave away his profession as a bartender. "Thanks, Cider," she said. "Just a minute, Spike. I'll be right back." The amber stallion, with the brown mane and tail, and the cutie mark of a cactus wearing a chef's toque, approached the bar, his green eyes shining and happy. "Hey, Spike, how's it going, bud?" "Hey, Sandy, I'm doing okay, I guess," the little purple dragon said with a sigh. "What's going on, buddy? You sound depressed," Sandy asked him. "I've been out looking for a job, but no one will hire me. They all say the same thing. I'm too young, I'm too small. What's a guy gotta do to earn a few bits these days?" Peach and Apple Cider walked in from the back room. "Sorry about the wait, Spike. We didn't mean to eavesdrop, but are you really looking for work?" Peach asked. "Wait," Apple Cider said. "Don't you work for Twilight?" "Being Twilight's assistant doesn't pay at all. Something unexpected has come up, and I need to start bringing down a steady pay," he informed them. "You guys wouldn't happen to be hiring, would you?" "Sorry, Spike, but winter is starting, and that's also the start of a slow season for us. And business doesn't usually pick up till late spring. If you can wait that long, I'm sure we can find something for you," Peach told him. "Thanks, Peach, but I need something sooner than that," he said as he got up and walked toward the tavern's exit. "Good luck, Spike. I hope you find something," Sandy said as the young dragon walked out the door. "I don't like this, boys. I don't know what's really going on, but it doesn't sound good. I'll put the inventory away. I want you two to get down to the library and talk to Twilight about this." "Sure thing, boss. Let's go, Sandy," Cider said as he made his way toward the front door. Spike stood at the front gate of Sweet Apple Acres. "Well, Spike, this is the only place in town you haven't tried," he said to himself. "If this doesn't work, I guess I'll have to try back in Canterlot." The small dragon walked down the dirt road, lined with towering apple trees on the left, and bordered by a wide-open field to his right.
"Hey, Spike, what brings you down to the farm today? Aren't you supposed to be having a birthday party at the library?"
Big Macintosh had spotted him on his way to the barn to deposit a cartload of apples.
"I'm sorry I couldn't make it. Some pony needs to work the farm."
"That's okay, Big Mac. The party's over anyway, at least for me," Spike said. The large red earth pony stallion unhooked himself from the cart and approached the small dragon.
"Why don't you come inside for a bit?"
Macintosh invited.
"I need to take a break anyway."
Spike followed him inside, and sat at the table. "Has Applejack returned yet?"
"Not as such,"
he said, rummaging in a cupboard above the sink.
"She was here, then took off again in a hurry. She was looking for you. I suspect something happened at the party."
"You can say that," the dragon said, tracing invisible patterns on the table. Big Macintosh set a bottle of apple brandy on the table, with 2 glasses.
"What's this for?" "AJ told me you liked this when you had a drink with her and Pinky, back when you were a pony. I figure what's going on back at the library and whatever's got you this down can only be helped by a drink with a friend," he said, pouring a small amount of the amber liquid into the glasses. "So, why don't you tell me what's going on?"
Spike gulped the liquor in a single quaff. "Rarity's pregnant and I'm the father." Macintosh swallowed his drink, coughing slightly.
"Come again?"
"AJ told you about what happened a few months ago, right?" the purple dragon asked.
"Yeah, she told me that some sort of curse turned you into a pony, and that you and Rarity got into it. To be honest, I always thought it was pretty bad the way she treated you sometimes. I guess everything came out then."
"Yes," Spike said. "She didn't know it was me at the time, but I did eventually forgive her, and she's treated me much better ever since, even though I'm not a pony anymore. That last night I was a pony. She and I went out on a date, and one thing led to another, and it just sort of happened."
"Good for you, Spike. Rarity is a fine mare, and I know of a few stallions that are plenty mad that you got her instead of them,"
the large red stallion said with a smile.
"So, take it she told you at the party?"
"Yeah, she did. It's not that I've never thought about having a family with her. In fact, I've been thinking lately if it was even possible. I really am happy about it, but it's just a lot earlier than I expected," Spike said, swallowing the rest of his second drink.
"I understand, Spike. Ma told me she felt the same way when she was carrying me. She was only 18 when I came along. She told me it was hard, but her and Pa managed," Big Macintosh told him. "So then, if you're so happy about being a father, why are you here instead of back home with your mare?"
"Because I need a job, Big Mac. Rarity shouldn't have to shoulder all the financial responsibility by herself. She's already taken care of Sweetie Belle. I need to help. I want to do the right thing."
"I can respect that. I'm proud of you, Spike. A lot of stallions in your position would have run off and ignored their duty,"
Big Mac told him. "I have to tell you, though, I don't think you're going to find any work around Ponyville this time of year.
Things are pretty slow right now. I'd have you do some work for me around the farm, but apple bucking season came early, and me, Caramel, and AJ have it nearly done already." He apologized. "How far along is she, anyway?"
"Rarity told me her due date is in 8 to 9 months," Spike told him.
"Well then, you have plenty of time. Give it 4 or 5 months, and then go looking for work again. By then, Winter Apple will be keeping every pony busy, and I'm sure a pony or two will have work for you," the red farm pony said. "In the meantime, you should get back to the library and let every pony know that you're okay, and if you haven't already, you better let Rarity know how you feel. The last thing you want is for her to think you ran out on her."
"I will, but there's just one place I want to try first. Thanks, Big Mac. I appreciate it."
"All right, but are you sure you're okay to walk? You've had 4 glasses of this stuff," he asked.
"Yeah, I'm okay. I don't think alcohol affects me as a dragon. I feel fine. It's still good, though. I'll see you around, Mac." Rarity sat sobbing on the sofa, surrounded by her friends. He left. He just left. I don't understand, she cried. We were just talking. He was worried that we'd never be able to have a family together, and when I tell him I'm pregnant, he gets up and leaves. I'm certain everything is going to be all right, Rarity, Emerald told her. She's right, Rarity. Don't go and jump to conclusions. That's Twilight's job, Pinkie Pie said. Hey! Twilight objected. Did Macintosh say anything when you checked with him? Fluttershy asked. I told y'all what he told me. Spike hadn't been at the farm, but if he shows up, Mac said he'd tell him to come home, Applejack repeated. Twilight went to answer a loud knock at the front door. Opening the door, she found Apple Cider and Sandy waiting on the other side. Hi, boys. Is there something I can help you with?
Hey, Twilight. Peach sent us over here, Cider said.
She was concerned about Spike. Did you two have a fight or something? Spike? You've seen Spike? Rarity asked frantically, racing to the door. Sandy jumped behind Apple Cider, using him as a shield against the upset mare. Where is he? Where is that no-good dragon?
We don't know, Cider told her. He came in looking for a job. He said he'd been all over town looking for one. Peach told him we didn't have anything open, and to try back in a few months when business picks up again. Then he left. That's when Peach told us to come talk to Twilight about it.
A job? But Spike works here. Why would he be looking for a job? Twilight asked. Well, Spike told us that you don't pay him, and something's come up recently that requires a great deal of money. He left the tavern after that. We don't know where he went, Sandy said from behind his friend. But why would he do that? Spike doesn't need a job. I make enough bits for all of us, Rarity said, trying to make sense of the turn of events. Maybe Spike wanted to buy something for the new baby, Fluttershy suggested. But if he wanted to do that, all he had to do was ask me. I'd have given him the bits, the Lavender Unicorn said.
I suppose I could shed a little light on this, Big Macintosh said as he cantered up to the library. Cider, Sandy, y'all best get back to the tavern. I can take it from here.
The two stallions gratefully thanked him and galloped off. I take it Spike came by the farm looking for work? Applejack asked.
Yup, that he did, and I had to turn him down.
But why? Rarity asked.
I take it he hasn't come back yet, then. Well, he did say he wanted to check one more place, but darn it all, he should have been back by now, the Red Earth Pony said.
Macintosh, please answer my question, Rarity pleaded with him.
That little dragon of yours has it in his head that he can support you and the little one. Yeah, he told me about it. Congratulations, by the way, Macintosh told her.
But that's ridiculous, Rarity said. I never expected him to do any such thing. He doesn't have to. Drakes, Emerald said, exasperated, covering her face with a hand and shaking her head. Well, that makes sense, Rainbow Dash said. How can that possibly make sense? Twilight asked. He doesn't need another job for that. All he's ever had to do was ask. I'm sure something could be worked out. Maybe that's the problem, Twi. Maybe Spike's tired of having to ask your permission to do everything, Rainbow said. What are you talking about? Twilight asked her. That's just it. Spike wants to buy a cupcake, he has to ask you first. If he wants to take Rarity out to dinner, he has to ask you. Now he's going to be a dad, and guess what? He still can't do a thing without checking with you first.
She kinda has a point there, Twi, Applejack added in. I know you think of him as a little brother, but you have to understand that he's grown up, and now he has other responsibilities. That he does, and I respect what he's trying to do, but I told him that no pony was going to hire him, since work is kind of slow this time of year, Macintosh said. Well, I suggested that he go home, but it looks like the stubborn little dragon didn't listen.
Where do you think he went? Applejack asked.
No idea, sis.
I have a way of finding him, the doctor said, heading for the door. I'll bring him back, I promise. You're not going anywhere without me, Rarity demanded. Or me, Emerald said. Or me, Ditsy said, hugging the doctor. Can you watch my muffin, Fluttershy? Yes, I'd love to, Fluttershy said. Fine, you can come, but the rest have to stay here. We'll be back in no time. The 3 ponies and 1 dragon traveled as fast as they could back to Ditsy Doo's home at the edge of the Whitetail Woods. Running around to the back of the mailbox-shaped house, they stopped in front of a large blue rectangular box. Is this it? Emerald asked. How is this blue box supposed to find my little brother? Step inside and all of your questions will be answered, the doctor said as he and Ditzy walked in. "But there can't possibly be room for all of us in there," Rarity protested. Ditzy poked her head out the door. "Will you two get in here already? We can't do anything till the door closes, sillies." Emerald and Rarity cautiously stepped inside, and marveled at the enormity of it all. The room was enormous. All around were ramps leading to a central platform. With all the switches, dials, levers, and other miscellaneous odds and ends, the two visitors could only conclude it was a control center. "How can this be?" Rarity asked. "This can't be possible. It's smaller on the outside." "That's what I said," Ditzy confirmed. Emerald looked up and saw a spiral staircase leading up and up to an impossible height. "This breaks every law of science I've ever learned." "Yes, well, that's all well and good, but we're here to find Spike, not look at the scenery," the doctor said as he ran around the central control panel, flipping switches and spinning two wheels, then pulled a lever. "There we go. I have a single Dragon Life sign just north of town." "Where?" Rarity asked, rushing up the ramp. "Over here, on the screen." "Deucedly odd. What's up there? Why would Spike go there?" "The only thing up there is an old quartz mine. I used to go there all the time for crystals a customer wanted for a gown. It's nearly 3 in the afternoon. He's probably hungry. He's always hungry this time of day," Rarity informed him. "Has Spike ever eaten quartz before?" Emerald asked. "Not to my knowledge. Why? I mean, one gem is like any other to a dragon, isn't it?" Rarity asked. "No, quartz crystals aren't like other gems. Most gems are used for food, but quartz, well, quartz affects dragons like alcohol affects you. The higher the crystal's clarity, the stronger its effect," Emerald explained. She could see the anxiety building on the white unicorn's face. "I'm sure Spike, as young as he is, doesn't realize what he's doing. All the same, he shouldn't be consuming too much. It'd be like a colt drinking a whole bottle of wine by himself." "Then what are we waiting for? Where is he again, Doctor?" Rarity asked. "Hold on, girls. Doctor's going to take us there in the blue box," Ditzy said. "I hardly think this is an occasion to move the TARDIS less than 3 miles," he said. "Oh, come on, it'll be fun," Ditzy said, snuggling up to him. The chestnut-colored stallion smiled. "Oh, okay, what the heck. Hang on, ladies." The doctor started pulling levers and pushing buttons at random. The strangest of sounds seemed to come from everywhere, and then, as suddenly as it started, it stopped. "What, is that it?" "Just go out the door. You'll find Spike not far off," the doctor said. Emerald cautiously opened the door and stepped out to find her brother sucking on a small piece of rose quartz. "Hey, Emmy, what are you doing here?" the little dragon shouted. "You should really try this stuff. I don't think I've ever tasted gems like these before." "We're here to take you home, Spike," Rarity said, walking out of the TARDIS behind the Dragoness. Spike stared at Rarity for a while. "Pretty pony," he said, drawing out the words. Stumbling to his feet, he staggered over to the unicorn, took her head in his hands, and kissed her deeply. "You are the prettiest, sexiest mare I've ever seen. I mean it. Princess Celestia herself can't hold a candle to you. I love you, Rarity." Rarity was blushing harder than she ever had before. "Oh my, I'm sure it's just the crystal talking," she said as Spike climbed on her back, laying out and hugging her neck. "That's another way dragons differ from ponies, dear," Emerald told her. "When a dragon gets inebriated, they drop all pretenses and say exactly what they mean. No false bravado, no understatement of things for the sake of pride or reputation, but the unabashed truth." "So, what he just said?" the unicorn mare asked. "The complete and honest truth, straight from his little heart," Emerald confirmed. "Oh, Rory, I'd stroke those perfect flanks of yours all 9 day if I thought you'd let me." "Okay, time to go home," Rarity announced as she carried the half-sleeping dragon into the TARDIS. Spike woke the next morning in his room, surrounded by his gems, his sister sleeping on a pile of them in the corner. The small dragon grabbed his head in pain. "Ow, ow, ow, ow! Why does my head hurt so much?" Emerald sat up on the pile of gems she was using as a bed. "Hey, Spike! How's the head?" she yelled. Ow! Not so loud, he complained. That'll teach you, little brother. Never eat quartz unless you're willing to pay for it the next morning, Emerald told him, a large toothy grin gracing her face. Spike crawled out of bed and started packing gems into a bag. Hold on now, what are you doing? I have stuff to do. I need to get these gems to a farm northwest of town, Spike informed her. How many of them are you taking, and why? All of them. Well, not all of them. I'm leaving the purple amethysts and diamonds. I'm taking the rest to a friend's home to sell them. But why? Those gems are from Rarity. She'll understand. I need the bits, and so does she. She just doesn't know it yet. Now, are you going to help me, or just sit there and tell me I'm being foolish like every pony else does? Spike asked her. I'll only help you because this appears to be important to you. But while we're going to the farm, I want a full explanation. Emerald quietly helped her brother pack up every ruby, every emerald, and every gem with the exception of 2 varieties. She pulled 3 wagons of gems behind her, as Spike rode atop her back, directing her to the destination. Top of the morning to you, Spike, my boy. Doctor, what brings you out this morning? Spike said, as a chestnut-colored stallion with the wild dark brown hair approached the 2 dragons. Just out for a bit of morning air with Ditsy and Dinky, he explained. Hi, Miss Dragon. Hi, Spike. How are you this morning? Dinky asked. Oh, we're just fine, little one, except for Spike, who's working through a quartz hangover, Emerald explained. That reminds me, Spike, may I have a word with you? Just a short little chat, the doctor asked. Sure, no problem, I guess. Ditsy, why don't you and Dinky go with Emerald? Spike and I will catch up soon, the chestnut stallion suggested. No problem, Doc, the Gray Pegasus said. See you later. Come on, Emerald, let's go. By the way, do you like muffins? The doctor shook his head as the gray mare with a blonde mane and tail trotted off next to the dragoness. Her daughter, the little unicorn filly with a mane and tail the same color as her mother, trotted beside her. That girl and her muffins. I swear, one of these days I'm taking her to the Beta Cateau 4. The people there all look like muffins. Did you know that? He asked. Actually, I don't think you told me about that one, Doctor, Spike said. Really? I could have sworn I told you about them before. Yeah, muffins, the whole race looks like giant muffins. Every variety you can think of. Only problem is they eat everything that gets too close to them, even each other. Bit odd, isn't it? Knowing Ditsy, she'll probably cause their extinction, Spike said, chuckling. Most likely. Is that what you wanted to talk to me about? Spike asked as they walked along. No, I wanted to talk to you about Rarity. You remember what I told you about me and the TARDIS and everything, right? He asked. Yeah, you told me you weren't really a pony like the rest of them. A Time Lord, right? The purple dragon asked. That's right, I'm a Time Lord. The last of the Time Lords, actually, and that's what I needed to talk to you about. I just wanted to let you know that you aren't alone. You're not the only man, dragon, to fall in love with a pony. You mean you and Ditsy? Really? Spike asked, scratching the scales on his head. Yes, imagine my surprise when it finally occurred to me that I was actually falling in love with her. Me, the Doctor, last of the Time Lords, veteran of the last great Time War, in love with a pony. Funny, isn't it? I guess so, but you're a pony now, so I don't see why that would be a problem. I mean, it's not like you've got ponies saying stuff behind your back. You should hear some of the things some ponies have said about Rarity and I when they thought we couldn't hear them. You mean things like freak, crazy, stupid, things like that? The doctor asked, staring off into space. Ponies are really saying stuff like that about you? The little dragon asked, concerned. I wish they were saying about me. I have a thick skin, I can handle it. I hear them saying those things about Ditsy, and it really pisses me off, he shouted. They judge her without really taking the time to get to know her. She's such an affectionate, loving, understanding, patient girl. The way she raises her little girl, forget about it. In all of time and space, I've never seen a better mother than her. And what a mind, I tell you, what Spike. You give her enough time, and that girl will think her way through a brick wall. Do you have any idea how rare that is? The chestnut pony asked him. I guess not. I always thought Ditsy was just a happy mare who didn't let anything bother her. I know Twilight and the others have always liked her, especially Lyra and Bon Bon. Yes, you and her friends have always been kind to her, with the exception of Rainbow Dash. Oh, she rubs every pony the wrong way from time to time, Spike explained. Yes, well, most ponies only see her as the mare with the weird eyes that bumps into things. She doesn't mean to, but they don't care. All they do is point and laugh at her, without a thought to how she might feel. So does Ditsy know how you feel about her? Spike asked. No, or at least I've never said anything. You see, Spike, I can't be romantically involved with her. It wouldn't be fair to her. What if I have to leave and I'm never able to come back? What if I get stuck in a parallel dimension? He said with a sigh. I couldn't do that to her. She deserves better than that, better than me. I know how you feel. I used to be like that myself. A month back, Princess Luna told me during one of my checkups that it didn't matter what I looked like, or the fact that I was a dragon, that would most likely outlive Rarity. She said Rarity chose me and no pony else, and that's what mattered. Everything else is pointless, Spike informed her. Think about that, Doctor. Think about telling her and consider the possibility that she feels the same way. Hey now, who's supposed to be counseling who? The doctor asked with a smile on his face. Sorry about that. Not at all, old boy. Now, what do you say we catch up with the girls before Ditsy talks your sister to death? The doctor asked, tossing Spike onto his back and galloping down the road. I am very glad that's over. I don't know. The thing that gets me is that the doctor just appears out of nowhere, with no explanation whatsoever. It makes no sense, and it leaves the reader completely confused, so that they have to reread over that and see, wait, what? Who's the doctor? And then they realize, oh, Doctor Who. But seriously, it just seems very forced. A little bit of sensory detail, even just a sentence stating, and then the doctor appeared. Even that would have gone a long way. And I wouldn't have gone with that, but come on, try harder. Another thing is that this story, in general, is just very forgettable. It really, truly is. It's just one thing, and I would know because I left it for months and months between Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. And I'm just like, wait, what's going on? I forget what's going on. Oh, that happened. Okay. It's very forgettable. It's just very forgettable. You don't remember what's going on. And it's probably just the fact that I'm not into it at all. I'm not really into it, but if I'm not into it, not many people would be into it. And I mean, I maybe just be the odd one out here, considering the amount of likes that the story has, and I'm being a bit critical of it, but I really think it's poorly done. It's just very poorly done, in my opinion. It feels very forced. Another thing, the stereotypical derpy. It's just overdone. It gets old very fast. The muffin joke. Ugh, I get it. Derpy likes muffins. Do a different thing. Focus on a different part of Derpy. She's not just that mare that likes muffins. She's not. She's not. And I just really don't like this. This chapter has to be the worst one so far, in my opinion. I just could not get into it. And I don't even know. I don't even know. Thankfully, I don't have to read another chapter until I read another chapter of MLP MIM, which should be pretty refreshing for me because I really like that story. Much better than this one. I just don't like this story. This story gives a pretty bad reputation to shipping, and I think this story is probably why a few people don't like shipping. I don't know. I just don't like. I'm not into this story. It may just be me in the wrong genre, but I just don't like the story. It doesn't succeed in making me feel emotions. It doesn't. It just doesn't. I mean, there is a part that's meant to be meaningful, and I can tell it's meant to be meaningful, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit together. It just doesn't. I mean, I'm sure it's just barely off, too. That's the sad part. If it was slightly altered in some unknown way, or some subtle way, I'm sure it would work perfectly. Everything would just click together and work, but it's just not there. If it was there, I would probably be crying right now. And believe me, I am not hard to get crying. It is not hard to get me crying when I'm reading a story. But this doesn't work for me. I've rambled on enough at this point. I think you guys get the gist that I didn't like this story at all, and I'm glad it's almost over. I think you guys get that. It just doesn't work. See you guys in chapter 4, where we will conclude this tale of romance and responsibility and other things, which I don't care to list off. I apologize for all the mic pops in this reading. My microphone may have been a little bit too low on my headset, but I don't care to spend another 2 hours re-recording this, so I'm not going to. But I will remember not to have my microphone so low in the future. Even if it wasn't making me re-record parts over and over again, I still wouldn't have liked this story. Just so you know.